Hey everyone, welcome to Mark Walks. Today is April 22nd. Time is approximately 11 a.m. and we're over here on the east side of downtown at Berczy Park. You can see some of these trees are starting to bud, which is a really good sign. Spring has sprung. And like I said, we're over here at the park. This is a favorite neighborhood park. It's a smaller parkette, but one of the top parkettes in the city. You can see at the distance there is the dog fountain, which is a neighborhood favorite as well. And today we'll be walking from the east side here all the way over to my office to get a little bit of work done. Over here is Berczy Square. This is an office tower, and it just underwent a large renovation. So the interior lobby has been modernized, as well the front entrance of the building, this is kind of the side or back entrance, was modernized. And before this was Berczy Square office tower, it was the location of an older building for the Toronto Board of Trade. So a very important corner in the city. And the main anchor tenant at Berczy Square is Altus Group. They're a real estate data collection company. A few great restaurants and patios just at the foot of the building. This one here is San Marco. It's a steakhouse. And Biff's Bistro is this one with the music going. Uh-oh. Copyright strikes. Biff's Bistro was a legendary steakhouse in the city. It kind of pushed into the far corner of the building here. It was moved over from the middle, or just adjacent, just beside itself from before. And Biff's was actually featured in a blockbuster movie, American Psycho. So that's an interesting tidbit about Biff's. Here we are here at Front and Yonge. Over there is the Dominion Public Building and the CIBC Square office towers. The newer office tower in the foreground there is going to have the CPP join its anchor tenants. So a large, I think 4 floors will be occupied by CPP, which is Canadian Pension Plan. So that's a huge boost to that building and to the downtown in Toronto. And across from me here is the Hockey Hall of Fame, which used to be an old bank building. Beautiful mix of olden architecture. Absolutely something to see. I think we'll try and take a walk through the Royal York, because the Royal York currently has Splendour of Spring. Hopefully it's still there. It should be in the lobby. You can see here, Hockey Hall of Fame statue. So people go there to take pictures. This is also the entryway to Brookfield Place. If you want to go see Sam Pollock Square, as well as Alan Lambert Galleria. We're outside today because the weather's beautiful. I believe it's like 16 degrees right now or so.
That's a good point.
And I'm more of a fair weather walker or streamer now, because in the wintertime I got clobbered by a few of those historic snowstorms, and just didn't want to deal with that again unless it was another historic snowstorm for the views. And here we are at the plaza or courtyard area of Brookfield. Brookfield spans a large portion of front between Yonge and Bay Street, and there's 2 towers to it. TD Place, and I believe the other one's called Brookfield Tower. Come up on a amazing view here. This is Union and the CN Tower. That's where all the commuters come in. Lots of return to office now, so many more commuters are coming back downtown 5 days a week, 4 days a week, some. I think even maybe some only a few, maybe 2 days a week, but they'll be called back 5 eventually. This is where the new connection from CIBC Square will go through to Union for commuters or people who work at CIBC Square. And let's look up Bay Street here. The nation's financial capital, or the financial district, part of Canada's financial system. You can see there's an anchor tenant sign. Some of the biggest asset managers and investment banks are located right here. Stifel, which is a mid-grade investment bank, Onyx, huge asset manager, and then you even have a commercial, Cushman & Wakefield, a commercial real estate brokerage. I like to always show off the anchor tenants because it's an important gauge on how the city's doing. When you see large anchor tenants that have been here for years and years, sometimes decades, it's a great sign. Now, I'm just beside RBC Plaza. This one has some big anchor tenants as well, Fiera Capital and Sprott, which is like an asset manager for metals, gold and such. Big gold bug or bullion asset manager. Precious metals, Sprott Asset Management. Very interesting company. I would like to do more research on them. Because gold, as you've seen, and silver have been going buck wild and sometimes even reversing and going back up again. It's just all over the place, just like every other market currently. Chop is the name of the game. Just don't get chopped out. Everything is volatile, everything is uncertain. Best thing you can do when markets move like this sometimes is to do nothing. Whereas in like real estate, it's to get the best price you can get, especially outside of the core because of return to office and a lot of the pandemic phenomena like low rates and FOMO mania has subsided. So I would not want to overpay outside of the GTA right now, just because house prices have already taken a hit and they probably have a lot more to go on a one-off basis. So, whereas Toronto, with the RTO or return to office, and prices nearly matching some of those areas outside the GTA, I believe there should be some like stagnation or just a little bit of strength, maybe, even condos. I wanted to check out the Splendour of Spring quickly. It's still here. Let's have a look. So, this here is the Royal York lobby. Beautiful grand chateau-esque hotel. It was designed and built between 1929 and here is Splendour of Spring. Really cool setup for spring here. There we go. You can see it all now. They do these nice elaborate setups, somewhat seasonally. That's something to check back on. Here's their lobby bar. Beautiful. I believe it's called Clock Tower, if I'm not mistaken. Clock Tower bar. Very cool. And amazing tile mosaics throughout the floor and lots of architectural details. Again, it was built around 1929, so the end of the Roaring 20s, which is something I wanted to touch on today. Is, you know, with markets chopping around, are we going to see another depression? Maybe just a recession. I don't think a great depression, but I thought I would bring us by some interesting old end of an era buildings. This is 1929, so you can see it was really architecturally significant and designed, and a lot of money would have been spent, whereas probably post 1929, you know, the builders or developers and such would not be spending as much to make their buildings look as beautiful or elaborate. And here's another building here that was built around 1929, the Prudential House. It's an Art Deco style. And this one as well, built during a time of excess. You see a lot of like stampings and cigarette patterns up it. And it's called the Prudential House. I don't know if it's ever been renamed. It's on the little alleyway behind the Royal York. Right here with the Tim Hortons in it. See, it's Art Deco style. Show you the front lobby. It's 55 York Street, the exact address. And it's a really kind of like unknown building in the city, but it's very unique in that it was built in 1929 during the time of excess. And if it was built a little later, a lot of the like Art Deco scrolling on the building probably wouldn't have been as elaborate. Again, are we going to see, you know, that kind of, I mean, we're already seeing builders cheap out, and you know, a lot of buildings aren't built to the same standard as they would have been pre-COVID. So you already see in that interesting tie-ins. Obviously not the same, but as the 29 crash and the Great Depression. However, still interesting to tie stuff in and play with historical facts and happenings. That building, I think it's one of the earlier Art Deco buildings as well. More like a pure play Art Deco, whereas some are kind of mix Art Deco style with other styles. Now we're at University of Wellington. Up University there. See to Canada Life building, which is a beautiful old Beaux Arts building, and it has an interesting like weather gauge at the top. Tell you if temperature's going to go up or down or stay the same, I think. Another look up University. University is an extremely important artery of the city. It's where all of our best hospitals are. Some of Canada's best, and even North America. Just continue down Wellington for a bit here. We need more trees planted. Look at this one. Come on. That's what the city needs, more trees. Because in New York, it's an endless supply of trees now, and even beautiful planters and flowers. And maybe it's just they get spring a little earlier than us, but it's something that's quite noticeable now. Watching I've been watching a lot of New York walktubers. Here's Roy Thomson Hall. Beautiful, like, geodesic dome concert hall, performing arts center. And that's Simcoe Street, named after John Simcoe. We've come across this street many times. Roy Thomson Hall is absolutely beautiful. I've been in there a few times. It's designed by Arthur Erickson, famous architect known for modernist styles. You can see Toronto Metro, or the Metropolitan buildings that were in use at one point, even as City Hall for the City of Toronto, until amalgamation happened. Now it's mostly just bureaucracy, or just like administrative offices, as far as I'm aware, at David Pico Square. Across you'll see Forma, beautiful new condo going up, and beside it is Theatre Park condos, soft loft style building. And here we are here at the Ritz. Gorgeous modernist hotel. Kind of strays from Ritz olden styles, but it's absolutely beautiful nonetheless. Great lobby bar there as well. Always stuff happening. Ritz-Carlton. It's also a condo and hotel. So if you've got the money, you can buy a gorgeous and larger condo suite right beside the financial district, a few blocks, and enjoy yourself in the city. I think units in there probably start around 1.8 million, maybe even a little less now, just because of the market. The Toronto condo market, in my opinion, has been a buy for a while now, just because of what happened. The city kind of hollowed out during COVID, and people went and spent in a frenzy outside of Toronto, outside of the GTA, because of work from home and the pandemic scare. So condos have kind of stagnated. And now, on like even a nominal basis, you could probably pick up a great 1+1 parking locker for 2019, maybe even all the way to a 2017 price. Some without parking and locker you can get for potentially 2016 prices, which is sort of, I mean, I don't want to say, but maybe generational bottom. I don't like calling bottoms, but this bottom is kind of stuck. It's not like it's gone up and down. It's just stagnating. So it's potentially a generational bottom for condos, and a great time to buy and come back to the city before any more return to office and a great rush. As well, I've even seen rentals go for less than a 2016 price. Well, there you go. Loud Beamer 3 Series M3. Cool. Anyway, it could be that Toronto condos are at a generational bottom or near it. The other thing is that developers are holding off projects, even canceling some, and from a lot of the data I've seen, by 28, 29, there's going to be almost zero build for the amount of population coming to the city. So if you're young and you want to start your career and make the big bucks in the city and really take off, oops, you have the opportunity to do so now, and get a good price. I would just keep socking away money to the mortgage and be as smart as possible, especially if you don't have huge service costs and a lot of monthlies to pay. Like a house is going to be a massive carrying cost at this point, especially in the high tax jurisdictions west of Toronto, or west of the GTA, I should say. Just a few tidbits while we're walking here on kind of the pulse of real estate. You can also like buy 2 bedrooms for crazy prices right now, and if you wanted to, you can have a roommate, put your friend in there and charge them for the bedroom. That's what I've seen some agents propose. I mean, sure, I haven't really told anyone to do that, but it's an idea. Here's the Soho, great hotel. Toronto has many great hotels. Used to be a very happening hotel back in the day. Has some Chihuly glass on the awning there at the lobby. Chihuly glass is like blown glass, very expensive. World-renowned artist who makes those, so that's cool. They're like flowers or colored petals. And I believe there's also Chihuly glass installments in Bellagio, which is another fan favorite. And it's unique to see that here in Toronto. Here it is. Soho. See the glass there under the lobby awning. It's cool if you just front it like this. Great for a photo. Modernist. Really cool looking. There's an Italian restaurant in the bottom now. Here it's good. Some of the last remaining parking lots in the west downtown. See what happens here. Again, developers are kind of pausing or flip-flopping on what they want to do with projects. Are we going to build a hotel? Are we going to do residential rentals because the government's going to give us free money? Well, interest-free, whatever the heck it is. Who knows? Lots of flip-flop. I would just cancel the project, sell off the land, but that might hurt their bottom line. The city has enough competition in terms of residential at this juncture. Needs more commercial and more businesses coming back, building headquarters and such downtown, as opposed to more rentals and condos. And I'm an agent, and I say that. Here we are here. This is Clarence Square Park. There's usually a neat water fountain feature here. I believe it's like an angelic figure. However, it's always boarded up for some reason. Here's one of the gas stations to visit downtown. Actually, there's a few, Petrocan as well, but I frequent Shell just because my car needs it. Better for the engine. And to the south is the giant complex of the Well, mixed-use complex with, these are residential rental apartments on the front. Fronting on Wellington, and office at the corner here, and then condos, the other towers in the back. And they're quite nice. I've been in a few of them recently, showing. Prices are pretty decent. If you want newer and well built, really, it's Tridel. Well built project. Most of the Well is really architecturally unique and quite aesthetically pleasing. It's a great welcomed addition to this area, right by my office, actually. We are also on Wellington in the old publishing house building. Beautiful old brick and beam loft style building. And Ari, Magda, and I have our own office within the office, which maybe we'll have a look at. Hopefully it's nice and clean. Otherwise, I'm not sure I'll bring you guys in there. So this street here, always in the spring, when it's a little warmer, probably next month, it's always budding. It's got beautiful foliage, Wellington. And it used to be known as, I mean, more colloquially, probably still have the moniker of Millionaires Row. Lots of expensive buildings here, apartments, condos for sale in the millions. Older on this side, in the older buildings. And now you're going to have King, which, I mean, the back side of it should have a walkway through from Wellington to more million-dollar condos. You can see it behind this building under construction here. There's one of the towers, the mountains they call them. It's got a few peaks. It's like, I think 3 or 4 mountain features, like northwest, southeast, and extremely unique architecture with balconies that will have trees. Here's the Wells canopy section. Walks into like a walkway all the way through. Covered walkway, glass canopy. So that's a nice feature. Even when it's cold, you can go through. Here is the backside of King. And the talk is that Elton John bought a penthouse in here. So that's really special for the city. Here you go, here's a good look at it, still under construction. Glass blocking to form the building. And again, sort of like mountain peak style. It's very unique. And it's going to look amazing when it's finished. Designed by a world famous architect, Bjarke Ingels, European architect. Toronto's been collecting world famous architects since around 2014. It's another good sign for the city because New York is full of world famous architecture and architects. It really brings your metropolitan up to snuff. And Toronto is no slouch in that regard. Here we have the bike lane all cordoned off, everything's under construction. I believe there's a light even right now. Let's try and cross to my office. You can see here they built a nice promenade. It's not necessarily a promenade, but I guess you could call it that. It's not on the water, but it's beautiful. This here is one of the freehold streets, like closest to the city with semis and row homes. It's called Draper Street. And there's the Lincoln Alexander House right at the end, just behind that building there, which is a unique and interesting tidbit about that street. And here we are here. This is where Wellington kind of opens up a bit. There's another park, Victoria Square Park, I believe it's called. That's at the end there. More condos, it's a hotel. And then here is the office, the publishing house. Our office is right down there. Hopefully it's clean. Let's have a look. Royal LePage signature. Let's take you inside. Very cool loft style. There's front desk. If you go up there, there's a small bullpen. Down here is kitchen. All new, modern. And then over here is our office. In there. What's up? So I have to, yeah, it's great. I have to cut you here. Thanks so much for watching because I have to open the door, it's locked. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to buy, lease, or sell in a city, give me a call or drop me a line below. Thank you. Bye.